You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast, delivering the knowledge in all things fitness business. We help gym owners win. Here are your hosts, Tim Lyons and Randy Engston.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in studio, as always, for 2020, the bosun of betterment, Randy Engston. What's up, buddy?
How we doing?
What is a bosun anyway?
A skipper, essentially. It's a glorified skipper, I think.
Skipper. Well, we're back in 2020. Had a nice little break for the holidays. So lots to talk about. We hopefully you guys tuned into the predictions podcast. That was our last episode. Kind of gave our predictions for 2020. I think we're dead on some of those, and some of those I'm taking a wild guess, but I think we're right.
Yeah, like we talked about. I mean, it's the feedback that we're getting from the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
The industry, the people we're connected with. It's not just us kind of taking shots in the dark.
No way, Jose.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. We've had predictions in the past that
nailed.
Nailed.
So lots going on. A couple of quick announcements. We've got the automation workshop here February 6th and 7th. The tiered pricing, check it out at pfmarketingsolutions.com/automation.
Mm-hmm.
That's our automated workshop. That's our client life cycle. We're going to get together with about 25 gym owners over here in Chandler, Arizona, and we're going to build out together a complete automated system for lead nurture, booking appointments, follow-ups, past client win-backs, the whole thing. It's all tied together. It's actually pretty slick.
It's insane.
It's insane in the membrane.
In the membrane.
And one other thing that we bolted onto that's kind of it's separate, but part of the workshop is going to be the accountability. The accountability form or sequences that go out to a client. So everybody has this happening in their gym right now. You got clients that are great, and they kind of fall off. And we run reports every single week in our Tuesday team meetings that says, hey, if this client hasn't been in the last 7 days, but they have been in the last 30 days, at least once, they go on this list. And we've got an accountability sequence built out that drops specific text messages and voicemails from the coaches that they train with the most.
Sure.
Yep. And it's all done through our automation system, and we click a button, and they're getting voicemails and text messages, and it's working like a charm because they're responding. Oh, hey, Mike, thanks for reaching out. I was out of town, but I'll be back in Monday.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. So it works. It saves time. Instead of going back and texting and calling every single client, let's just drop a voicemail on them and hit them an automated text. They're going to get it, and they're going to respond.
Well, and the beauty of it is, it's a system, again,
Mm-hmm.
right, that doesn't fail. The second you initiate it, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. I like the fact that you're tying in the coaches that they're working with the greatest.
Yeah.
So from a personal standpoint, when they get that touch point, it's not a generic one from somebody at the gym that they don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a corporate, recorded message or something, It's as personable as it can get without somebody actually having to pick up a phone and make the dial. So systems, I mean, obviously this is something that we've pushed heavy, this last year, something that I think we're getting double down for, coming into 2020. But layering in accountability on top of your client touch points from the lead nurture aspect, I mean, it's only going to be building that safety net, that steel trap, that system is just going to be, it's going to continue to grow. So,
yeah,
I mean, think about this. It wasn't even there that we've just thrown that into what they're getting at the workshop.
Yeah.
It didn't even exist 3 weeks ago.
No, I know. And it was just something Zach said, hey, can we do this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll build it.
Sure.
So we built out the functionality. He's got the coaches recording the voicemails on the slide broadcast that we're using for the voicemail drops. Text messages are coming, like signed Mike, signed Tatiana, whatever, Gianni. So it's all good, and it works great. So think about that, guys. If you have that need in your business, I think time's running out. This is in February, so it's in next month. But jump in now. I know February is a tough time to kind of walk away from the business, but let's think about this. You're going to fly in on a Wednesday night. You're going to be out of the pocket for 2 days, Thursday and Friday. And you're right back at the gym on Saturday.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, and what it's going to provide for your business this year, it doesn't. You can't, I'm telling you, you could take a week off, you could take a month out of your business. You're going to explode your business from just a system like this year, without a doubt. We've seen it happen.
And that's why we're like you said, doubling down. We're weighing heavy. This isn't a play. This isn't something that we is going to disappear in 6 months. This is the thing that is going to run your business.
Yeah.
And that's why we like it. So. So that's the automation workshop. If you're interested in there, seats are limited. Check it out, pfmarketingsolutions.com/automation. You'll be able to see all the details there. All right. So big episode today. Today we, everybody's, in January setting New Year's resolutions, and we're all setting like goals for the year, and we're all trying to think about, what do we want out of 2020 as a business? But like a lot of your clients are like, what do they want for weight loss? What do they want financially? What do they want, family life? All this stuff kind of goes into January. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like a reset button, for the year. And I think we would be doing a disservice if we didn't talk about this in the fitness business, not necessarily from the member side, but from the business owner side. And let's talk about that a little bit today. You are really good when you talk to our coaching clients about goal setting and setting like intention and all that stuff. Before we get into like what we're going to focus on, why don't you talk a little bit about how the right way to set goals?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, a goal is not a goal unless it's written and dated for a date of completion, right? Otherwise, it's a wish or a dream. I mean, we all have a million things that we have great intention around, but unless you apply action and you make it deliberate, it remains a goal. It remains a dream, just a wish.
Yeah.
And so with our business owners that we work with, being very intentional, proactive, not reactive, all of that is extremely crucial in order to get where you want to go. Successful people do things differently, and this is the input of the mentors and the people that I've worked with in the past that have really instilled those types of beliefs in me. And so goal setting from its inception, the way that I look at the situation is, all right, where are we today? What is our ultimate desire? I look at our business like a vessel. It feeds the lifestyle that our business owners want. And so what do we want from that business? What does that look like? And then work retroactively. Okay. What are the steps that we need to accomplish in order for that goal to become a reality? Ultimately top down. And then that's where we go into setting your priorities, setting your intention on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, and micro goals or micro commitments. And but ultimately, right, set that crazy goal. Set something that it's going to take some work. It's not going to be a pushover, an easy thing to accomplish. That's the stuff that makes people push. So set those little bit crazy goals, and then work retroactively. Start with larger goals, with the big things that we need to accomplish. Prioritize them. When we set goals on a daily basis, we always focus on income producing activities first. Forcing your schedule so that the tasks that are most important
get done
first. I think it was Brian Tracy wrote "Eat This Frog," a book I read last week and a half or so, and he prioritizes tasks within a day with an A through E.
Okay.
And then obviously A's need to be accomplished first. E's can be pushed off if need be, but it's some measurement within your day of scaling the priorities, the things you need to do. But being very intentional in your mornings, setting a game plan for your day. Business owners walking in, guys, we talk about it all the time. You feel like you're on an island. You don't know what to do necessarily. So when you have a goal and you know that you need to accomplish something, there are certain tasks that need to happen in order for that to become a reality. Set those things into motion in your mornings, in your literally set aside time to be intentional and set your intention for the day, prioritize it based on importance, and then start attacking bottom up.
Very good. Okay, good breakdown. So that's kind of how I do it as well. We've got massive goals for 2020 for both the gym and ProFit, and we know what we want to do. I know how to get there, right, in my head. But then there's those little daily things that you got to do, and it also falls into routine, right? So what is it that gym owners should be focusing on this year? It's really up to the gym owners, what I would say, right?
I think that's the reason that our goal, or our mission statement is to help gym owners win, right? We leave it subjective because it's ultimately up to them to decide what that looks like.
Right. So is it a financial goal? I think most gym owners would kind of fall into this category. Some might be a time freedom goal. That might be one,
Sure.
Like, hey, I want to be able to remove myself from the business more so I don't have to be there all the time. I think that's a great goal. In fact, that's one of the major things we help gym owners with is
Absolutely.
systematizing and being able to walk out if they need to and be able to take a vacation. Like, to talk about Bo. Bo, just, you're wearing
a big shout out to Bo.
Bo's one of our clients we had in the past. He was one of our private client coaching clients, and his goal was like, I need to not do everything in the business. And surely he's gotten the coaches in place, and he was able to fly out here for the Growth Summit, and that was like a huge win for him.
The text we all got was, right to the feels.
Yeah. It's like, hey, guys, thanks to you, I've got coaches in here coaching my training. It doesn't have to be me, although my name's on the door.
Yep.
My coaches are facilitating my programs, and I'm able to be here with you guys, and who's, thanking us for that. So that's one of the things that we do very, very well is being able to help those gym owners step away. And that's our private coaching client group that we do that in. But let's talk about revenue goals let's just talk about the gym business.
Sure.
Okay. So historically, quarter one's always the best. It's not always January necessarily. It's actually more in February. And March for us. I mean, different states, different, demographics can be a little bit different. But I think the nature of the beast is we all think January means New Year's resolution, and on January 1st, there's going to be a line out the door, and it's not true. It's not true. In fact, you lose clients in January. We talked about this in a past episode. The dirty little secret of January that nobody talks about is the fact that clients are going to be leaving your gym in January because they are refocusing. They have their own goals, and if they haven't been getting results with you, or if they're getting, there's something new that they want to try, they're going to do it in January.
Or if the experience has gone away, and that was one of the things that we really drove hard was making sure that the people that are spending money and your current members have the reason, the intangible, not just the result, because the results are everywhere, right? You can go to different facilities and receive a result. It's the other things that keep people rooted in a fitness facility for long periods of time. So
I think one of the things we miss when we're talking financial goals is that whole net profit number. We always talk about gross revenue, but not necessarily net profit. And net profit really is what you keep.
Yeah.
Because you can make $1 million and keep zero.
Yeah.
I see it daily all the time from gyms that are just, their gross revenue looks really good. They're not paying themselves, and they don't take anything home at the end of the year. It's like,
how many of the gym owners do we work with, or in the poll that we ran, across the industry, did we find out aren't even working either full time in their business, or the business isn't supplementing or it is supplementing their income, if that, right? They're working full time jobs elsewhere to supplement their fitness business or to actually provide themselves with an income, because the business that they're running isn't.
Right.
So that's another group of people that we work with is helping gym owners get into their gym more often.
Yep.
And out of another job.
In a post I made maybe 2-3 months ago, it says I'm more interested personally now in net profit than I am gross revenue. And I got a bunch of kickback on that, like, oh, you need gross profit to get gross revenue to get net profit. I'm like, yeah, guys, I get it. You don't have to tell me that. I get it. But I'm not as interested as how much we generate on the top line. It's what we keep. And so what that means is running a lean business.
Yeah.
Not overspending, having just enough staff, not overspending in your rent or your marketing or your, other things that you're spending expenses on. So the focus for us has been, but I say even again, is to look back at your P&Ls from 2019 and really go deep into the expense lines and see what is it that we overspent on.
Sure.
Was it, we spent too much on whatever. I mean, employees.
Payroll, yeah, sure.
So typically the highest things that run the growth on the expense line are going to be rent or mortgage if you own the building, and it's payroll. Payroll. We're working with a gym owner right now that his payroll is backwards. It's like he's paying the coaches more than he's actually making from the clients.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa, we had to reset a lot of that, and he had to have some tough conversation with his coaches. But his coaches were, fat and happy. They were getting the majority of the revenue, and he was making zero. And so the very first thing we did, other than realign his payroll, get rid of a coach. He had too many coaches. And it was, long story short, was I made him pay himself weekly, because what he wasn't doing was keeping anything for himself.
Yeah.
And he was really stressed out. And so we said it, even if we made him give himself $300 a week.
Sure.
$300 a week. And as we make more on the top line, we're going to be able to bump that to 350, 400, 450, 500. And something that I did probably, it's probably been 8 years ago, is I started writing myself weekly checks that has nothing to do with payroll from the business. And now we're up to $1,000 a week is what I send home to pay for just stuff.
Sure.
Like, that's just this automatic payment that's coming out as a draw, but then I have my payroll too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice, that pays the household bills for the family.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even feel it because I like I said in a previous podcast episode, it's those weekly payments, you don't feel them. So that's how I do my rent, right?
Does that go back to I know you're a big fan of Profit First?
Yeah, I saw Profit First. I took a seminar with Profit First. I read the book Profit First. I don't follow Profit First.
Not entirely? Sure.
No,
yeah.
No. And if you guys haven't heard Profit First, it's really, what's the goal is to make 20% or more profit. So you take that profit and you put it in its own account before you even start paying bills. To me, it was a little complicated to have like 17 different bank accounts and all that stuff. But I know people that are really successful with it. I think we need to get back to, gym owners need to get back into the numbers a little bit more.
I was going to elaborate on that. I think that your theory or the reason that you do that type or that payment for yourself is along the lines of kind of the methodology of Profit First, is because you now are forced to look at the expenses, to look at the money that's going out in other areas, because if that's coming off the top line, there's only so much more to play with. You know what I mean? You can't just be frivolous in different areas. But it brings up a good point as far as being intentional and being focused on the numbers and growth. Right from the beginning of what we were talking about, I think that most gym owners are going to show up for work on January. And guys, if this is you, just take this as a lesson. Don't allow this to be the situation. But don't walk into your business January and be like retroactive and try to figure out, what is this going to do for me this year? Set some intentional goals. You own a business. The purpose of running a business is not just to provide great training. It's to be profitable. It's to be able to, ascend yourself in a better quality of life, your family, your staff. There's trickle-down effect from being the pinnacle of that business. And I think that this conversation should resonate with a lot of you guys because you have the opportunity right now to be in that seat.
Absolutely. And a lot of gym owners don't know what's good. What's the average out there of what net profit should be? And I would tell you on average, and I think if you even look into restaurants as well, it's like 8 to 12% net profit. So what does that mean? It means you take what's the net profit for the year, you put it over the gross revenue for the year, and what that is a percentage, whatever that percentage is. And for years we were down that low, and I didn't realize that was technically good, but to me it was horrible.
Not enough, right?
We're working with gyms right now that for talking about our Iron Circle, there's guys in there making 50, 60, 72% net profit on their business, which is unheard of.
That's a great business from a whole. I don't care if you're in a digital marketing, where you've got info products, things like that. Like that's the goal of a good business, is to reduce expenses, increase income, and be profitable.
Yeah, net profit is such a big piece of that. Nobody likes to talk about too much. They always talk about the top line.
Well, that's
revenue.
because it's an ego thing.
Yes.
Right? Like, let's be honest. I mean, it's real easy to say, I made $2 million last year.
Yep.
Well, you didn't exactly. You came through the door and it went right back out.
Yep.
And you walked away with $50,000 and in profit.
And that's more real. That's reality.
Oh, absolutely.
But nobody talks about that.
Okay, it's the ugly discussion.
Yeah, we're giving you the goodies. It's really true. It's all about net profit, and your net profit number should be after you pay yourself. So, gym owners, number one lesson to take away is pay yourself first this year. Do it like I do it, where I pay weekly plus payroll, or if you can't do that plus payroll, just pay yourself weekly out of the business right from the beginning. Set it up January 1st. Pay yourself every Friday. Start with $200, $300. Because what happens is over time is you start to resent your business. It's like, I'm working so damn hard in this thing. I've put all my life into this thing and I don't have any money in the bank. How is that even, what am I doing? But when you start doing it that way, all of a sudden, like, you're not so concerned because you always figure out a way
to make the money.
It always figure out a way. And I don't know who it was. I think it was Kiyosaki, to be honest with you, that said, pay yourself first. And when you have no money, it's really hard to figure that out, but you can figure out $300 a week.
Yeah.
You can figure out $250 a week. Just do it. So setting goals for this year, just like you said, going backwards, I would say number one goal, pay yourself first. Look at your P&Ls from last year. See what you can do to reduce expenses. We all focus on new revenue.
Sure.
But what about expenses? Again, do you pay your cleaning company too much? Did you overspend on office supplies? Was that order of shirts a really good investment, or did you?
Yeah, you're sitting on inventory type of thing.
You sitting on inventory, or the supplements moving off the shelf. Do you really need them? Do you need that whole team for your training staff? Do you, the number that I kind of use is 70 training clients per coach, and if you have 100 clients, that's 1.5 coaches. If you have 200 clients, that's 3 coaches, just about 2.5, 3 coaches. So you can have 2 full and 1 part-time.
Mm-hmm.
So don't overstaff just to say that you've got 5 coaches. If you don't have 350 clients, you don't necessarily need it.
Sure.
So, and it just depends on the model. If you're running one-on-one, that number changes. But for the model that we're talking about is large group, small group, combo, about 70 clients per coach. That's what we use, and that's how we've been able to stay efficient in,
payroll.
On payroll.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to the conversation we had Zach on, who we didn't mention yesterday, or in last our recap. We
okay. So
we
one of our guests.
We got to give Zach a big shout out coming up. Well, we have to have him back on. I think there's some things that we could definitely talk about for this year. But back to that conversation that we had when he was on here about capacity and figuring out which. Every one of us has it in your fitness facility. You have sessions that are on a schedule that don't need to be there, right? So you're probably paying somebody to either stand around, sit around, not train because nobody's coming up. That's payroll that you could be cutting expenses on. It all goes back to it's that same conversation. But that's probably when it comes to a payroll. Look at your sessions. Look at how many people are showing up. Can you realign things? Depending on obviously where your business is, so that you're not just paying somebody to underfulfill the requirement of the position, essentially. So, that's another great place to look.
Going back to like the small group training model that we run, it's 5 clients to 1 coach. For years and years it was 4. We bumped it up to 5 because we didn't want to hire a new coach. We just wanted to maybe have more people in one session. So we went to 5, didn't skip a beat, and it's been fine. But you're going to look at it, and you're going to see the average per clients per hour. And if it's hanging around 1.5, you might want to kind of peel that hour off and force those clients to kind of come into another hour.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? So you're not paying for that hour every
time. Exactly.
Every week. Something to think about in the long run. I think this episode is really to focus on, to me, net profit for the year. I think that's the most important thing. Number 2, paying yourself first. And number 3, if it's a time goal, let's jump on a call, because this is something we do really well with getting the gym owners out of the business. I think what I've done here seems to be what most people want out of their business, that you don't have to be the one. You don't have to be the gym owner that's in training clients and then cleaning the gym and making sales and doing the marketing, all that fun stuff that we have to do maybe in the beginning. But if you're 3-4 years into this business and you haven't figured out how to kind of remove yourself from all of that stuff, I think that's something we can definitely help you with. How do they get on a call with you?
pfmarketingsolutions.com/call.
Yeah, we have a whole coaching program around that particular thing, and we do really well with it. And in the clients that have gone through that, they have got nothing but great stuff, and they've been able to do. That's mostly the goals they come with. Is like, hey, I'm doing too much. I want to kind of slip out of this for a little bit. And
we could talk about a handful of them. Hunter's moved across the country. Mm-hmm. He has a studio that stands on its own. How many we've gotten? Bobby was in Orlando with a vacation with his family. Dan, this summer, that was his big goal, was taking his wife and family on vacation for the first time in years.
That's right.
Sean, that we were talking about, been in his business almost 21 years, has never had some of these systems in place that take all of that work off of his plate.
Talking about Jeff here. Jeff here ran a CrossFit, and had like 13 coaches, but he just, where they're all doing like 1 hour, and they were kind of coming and going. There's no culture. we solidified that kind of thing for him, and now he's off the training floor and he's just running the business again. So it's stuff that can be done. It's all different. Every gym's a little different.
Yeah.
But we seem to figure out how to make it work for most gym owners. So set goals, guys. Like, go big for the year. I would definitely say maybe the two probably goals that most people are going to set is that, hey, gross revenue, net profit kind of combo, and that time commitment to the gym.
Sure.
I think those are going to probably be what majority of the people listening want.
I agree.
I would think.
I would hope. Business owners, we would hope, right?
Yeah,
but
business owners. Guys, if you need help with this, jump on a call, book a call, right? And if it's, just something that we can help you identify what we think the issue is, and we don't end up working together, at least you've got that information.
Sure.
And you can, do something with it. It's not a sales call. It's really a discovery call. We call it a breakthrough call. But we're going to help you identify and get some clarity around what is it that's holding you back, and let us help you fix it. Even if you don't work with us, Randy or myself will be able to help you kind of go in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Just jump on a call, guys. What else? What else we got?
Well, we're talking about goal setting in that realm.
Right.
Being a product of the product. How about that? That's going to go along with everything else. I mean, you as a gym owner should have your own fitness-oriented goals as well.
Yep.
We should be living and breathing, examples of our businesses. So I think that's something from a personal level that should be there. But I think from a business owner standpoint, you really hit it with time freedom and then, the financial goals.
Freedom, yeah. There's all these other goals you're going to see, especially this time of year. If you scroll through Facebook, everybody's like, hey, read a book a day or read a book a week and all this stuff. Great. But is it tangible to, like, at the end of you have to have something that's measurable that's going to move the needle.
Move the needle, sure.
Sure, books can help you do it, but I know that if you go back and look at your expenses and you decide to cut those expenses, that's immediate, right? So it's up to you how you want to run it. If it's a fitness goal, cool, do that. If it's a time freedom goal, do that. If it's a financial goal, there's lots of different things you can do to make more but keep more.
Well, let's just talk about when you're considering the different areas of spending money for growth, right? Marketing is obviously a place that is kind of a must at some point. Understand, we've talked about it a lot lately, where and how to start marketing. Quit looking for that magic bullet, diversify, have some poles in the water. But make sure that you have a good marketing plan for 2020. It's going to, before we know it, we're going to be in December and you could be trying to figure out, next year's resolutioners. Yeah. So, figure out your marketing plan. When it comes to, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought there, but
well, we got the GPS for that, guys. If you need a marketing calendar, we've got the GPS. It's a 12-month calendar, so you've got all the assets and the marketing game plan that you need. That's going to be something you should probably jump right into right away. Maybe month one. It's only $497. For $497, you're going to have a marketing calendar built for you with the assets that goes with it. Something to look at.
Yeah, internal, external, bot marketing, and retention strategies right there.
Yep. Got it, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. Hopefully you're off to a great start for the New Year's. Hopefully you've got some clients not leaving you but coming in the door. Most likely it's going to happen late January. If you're running some type of challenge for January, probably January 20th is what I've kind of circled on the calendar.
That's what kind of the feedback I'm getting to.
The best start date to kind of run a program, because you got some weeks to market it. So this is the first week of January. So jump on that now if you want to get some marketing help. Go to the profitgps.net. Until next time, guys, keep crushing.
Oh!
See you on the next episode. Bye.
Take care.